My father lost his only brother in World War II. He was 22 years old. He was now watching his only grandson self-destructing at 23 because of another war. Kevin and I went through the rooms when we knew Jeff was coming back. We took his knives, his bottles, anything we felt he could harm himself with, a dog leash. I took a step stool, anything that I thought could trigger something in his mind. His car was disabled not only to protect himself, but to protect others from Jeffrey. Kevin called the civilian authorities. They said, we can't touch him, he's drinking. My child was struggling to survive, and we didn't know who to turn to. There was no follow-up call from the VA, no outreach, though they knew he was in crisis. We had no guidance. What to say to him, how to handle the situation. You hear a lot about supporting our troops, but I'll tell you, we felt isolated, abandoned, and alone. While the rest of the country lived on, going to Disney World, shopping, living their daily lives, our days consisted of constant fear, apprehension, helplessness, while we watched this young man being consumed by this cancer that ravaged his soul. I sat on the deck with this person who was impersonating my son and listened to him while he recounted bits and pieces of his time in Iraq. Then he would grind his fist into his hand and he'd say, "You could never understand." On Friday, June 11th, around midnight, my daughter got a call from a girl down the street. She asked me, "Where's your son?" And I said, "Debs, he's in his room, he's sleeping." Well, apparently not. He had climbed out the window and gotten into this girl's car. He wanted some beer. This girl who had known Jeffrey all her life was a little bit scared of him. When I saw him get out of the car, I froze. Jeff was dressed in his camis with 2 K-bars, a modified pellet gun, which the police wouldn't know, and carrying a six-pack. He had just wanted that beer. There was a sad smile on his face like a lost soul. When I told him how concerned I was about him, he said, "Don't worry, Mom. No matter what I do, I always come back." Later, his girlfriend was talking to him on our deck, and she said the tears were just running down his face. The words to a song that he listened to over and over again described him. Whatever happened to the young man's heart, swallowed by pain as he slowly fell apart. And they're going to play that, a couple of words from that in a minute. I just want to say, after Jeffrey died, we found a note in the cellar, or actually the police had it, and it said, "I am truly embarrassed of the man I became.
I am truly embarrassed of the man I became, and I hope you can try to remember me only as a child when I was happy, proud, and enjoyed life." The song.
Yeah, could you play the song, please?
Technical, if you could stop it. I think we've got the wrong track. Oh, the words, can you adjust it? The words are not coming through. Is there a problem with the sound? Can you start it again and give us a minute or two of that song and adjust it so we can hear the words? Well, we do apologize.
Yeah, it's not gonna-
It doesn't seem like this is going to work today. Um, Technical, we can come back to that song. We're going to move on to Kevin's testimony, and maybe if you could try to work on that, and we'll play it at the end of Kevin's testimony. Mr. Lucey.
So Jeffrey went through a lot of torment during the intervening weeks, and when I was listening to the first two young veterans talking today, they spoke about the letters from the VA, and on June 22nd, the VA drafted a letter for Jeffrey, which was setting up an appointment for him on July 13th. Regretfully, he wouldn't be able to make that appointment. On June 21st, it was on a Monday evening, I had returned home, and Jeffrey was in a total rage. I've never seen him like this, and he was totally irate about the war, about the way he was treated at the VA, about so many different things, to the point that I actually had to resort to calling the vet center at approximately 7:30 that evening. The people at the vet center and the people at the VA, we want to stress that, were very, very good people. And the angel that answered us at the vet center that evening got me to calm down and got Jeffrey to calm down wonderfully. So later that evening, we had decided that we were going to try to go out because he had become reclusive in the house. We were going to try to go out for a steak dinner the following night. At about 11:30, 11:45, Jeffrey asked me for the second time within the past 10 days if he could just sit in my lap and I could rock him for a while. And we did. We sat there for about 45 minutes and I was rocking Jeff, and we were in total silence. As his private therapist that we had hired said, it was his last harbor and his last place of refuge. The next day I came home. It was about 7:15. I held Jeff one last time as I lowered his body from the rafters and took the hose from around his neck. As a result of our son's experiences, as well as ours, between May and June 2004, and our subsequent experiences to the present day from walking with others through parts of their journeys through the veterans' health care system, we offer these few observations. First, why does it seem that the veteran must meet the system's needs? Was not the healthcare system developed to meet the needs of our veterans? Was this also not the purpose of the establishment in the 1980s of the Department of Veterans Affairs Special Committee on PTSD? To better deliver the necessary services to our veterans afflicted with hidden wounds? Yet, can anyone explain as to why the Department of Veterans Affairs has yet to implement even one of the 24 recommendations fully, as reported by the General Accounting Office in their report dated February 15th, 2006, 20 years after the first report?